From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily for Thursday, September 18th. Kind of sound like a broken record at this point, but we're starting in the mid-60s. We're going to get to the upper 80s, maybe even the low 90s. We could have record-breaking heat for this time of the year. Still no rain in the forecast today, but it is in the next few days. Eventually, we will have some rain.
Audible's romance collection has something to satisfy every side of you. When it comes to what kind of romance you're into, you don't have to choose just one. Fancy a dalliance with a duke, or maybe a steamy billionaire. You could find a book boyfriend in the city and another one tearing it up on the hockey field. And if nothing on this earth satisfies, you can always find love in another realm. Discover modern rom-coms from authors like Lily Chu and Ali Hazelwood, the latest romantasy series from Sarah J. Maas and Rebecca Yarros, plus Regency favorites like Bridgerton and Outlander. And of course, all the really steamy stuff. Your first great love story is free when you sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com/Wondery. That's audible.com/Wondery.
New on Daybreak, police say a woman is injured but stable after a shooting on the east side of Indianapolis. Officers found the woman shot just after 2 this morning on Span Avenue near Harlan and Fletcher. That's just northeast of Fountain Square. IMPD says officers were at the scene earlier following a disturbance call. The officers then left, but were still nearby when investigators say they heard gunshots. Police say the victim and witnesses are not cooperating. Officers are trying to figure out what led to the shooting. Authorities in Pennsylvania describe the shooting of several law enforcement officers as an ambush. Amy Kiley explains what investigators think happened.
This kind of violence isn't okay.
3 officers are dead and 2 are gravely wounded after a shooting in central Pennsylvania yesterday. Officials say the injured are York County sheriffs and the deceased were Northern York regional officers.
This is an absolutely tragic and devastating day for York County and for the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Sources say the officers were trying to arrest the suspect and serve a restraining order involving his ex-girlfriend.
This involves stalking repeatedly, criminal acts to cause fear, loitering and prowling at night, criminal trespass, simple trespass.
Officials say the shooter was wearing camouflage and waiting in a cornfield when officers arrived.
When I got past the barn, I heard gunshots. I just saw a lot of chaos and saw some bodies.
Officials say the suspect is dead after law enforcement returned fire. Attorney General Pam Bondi says federal agents are investigating. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro says the tragedy is a reminder to appreciate first responders. He's also calling for more efforts to prevent gun violence.
We need to do better when it comes to looking out for those who are in need, so we don't have to deal with tragedies like this.
It also is a reminder, especially with emotionally charged situations, domestic situations, how fast and how violently these things can spin out of control.
I'm Amy Kiley for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Ball State University has fired a staffer over comments about Charlie Kirk. Suzanne Swerk was the school's director of health promotion and advocacy. In a post on her personal Facebook, she called the killing of the conservative activist a tragedy. She also writes, "Let me be clear. If you think Charlie Kirk was a wonderful person, we can't be friends. And that Charlie Kirk's death is a reflection of the violence, fear, and hatred he sowed." Indiana's Attorney General Todd Rokita urged Ball State to act on the post. School says in a statement, "Our administration determined the post was inconsistent with the distinctive nature and trust of Ms. Swerk's leadership position at Ball State University, and that the post caused significant disruption to the university." You can see the full comments from the school and Swerk at WishTV.com. Comments about Kirk's killing have Jimmy Kimmel's late-night show suspended indefinitely. The move follows pressure from Nexstar, which owns 23 ABC stations, and from the head of the FCC, who called Kimmel's comments about Charlie Kirk misinformation. In monologues and online, Kimmel has called the shooting horrible and monstrous. The controversy revolves around what he said about the shooter's background.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
FCC Chair Brendan Carr calls that misinformation and says there's a strong case for holding the network accountable. ABC has not offered an explanation for the suspension, nor has its parent company, Disney. Jimmy Kimmel also has not spoken about the move. In a new post, President Trump applauds the move and urges NBC, in his words, to do it to Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers, too. In Washington, Democrats in the House have turned back an effort to punish Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar over comments about Kirk. The House voted 214 to 213 against the resolution to censure her and have her removed from 2 House committees. Republican South Carolina Representative Nancy Mace proposed the resolution after a lengthy online feud with Omar. This week, Omar posted on X, "Nancy Mace is trying to censure me over comments I never said." She also condemned political violence. Omar did criticize Kirk's views on gun ownership and race relations following George Floyd's murder in Minneapolis in 2020. Happening today, Pete Buttigieg is set to be at the Indiana State House for a rally against redistricting. The state Democratic Party says the former South Bend mayor and transportation secretary will join state lawmakers at 1:30 this afternoon. Comes after Governor Mike Braun said this week that it is increasingly likely he will call a special session to redraw congressional districts to help Republicans hold their majority in the U.S. House. Democrats say the rally is on the second floor atrium at the State House. For the first time, my teammate is talking with the property owners looking to sell their farmland to Google for a data center in Franklin Township. A majority of the City County Council says it opposes the center. Some people say that too. My teammates Tim Spears talked to people who say the project will be good for the community.
I wish we could back up time to 1966 and there wouldn't be any thought of this, but times change.
In about 2 weeks, it'll be time for the soybean harvest.
So they're still not quite ready yet.
And Kevin Pelko believes it's time to make this harvest his last.
I'm going to be 69 in November. I'm tired.
He was born and raised on this farm, but says the land is about tapped out for farming and believes this corner of Franklin Township is already changing.
This is no longer a farm-friendly neighborhood.
Kevin and his wife, Kathy, have 3 primary criteria for selling. They want to sell to an American buyer. They don't want these corn crops and bean fields to become high-density housing, and they want to see the space benefit neighbors.
Basically, how it was going to leave it and benefit the neighborhood was the most important thing to us.
I think Google will be a good community partner.
While there are still protest signs on their road, the Pelkos believe Google has addressed the concerns over utilities, that it won't affect local wells or drain the power grid. They're also enthusiastic about 93 acres of green space and 150-foot setbacks to keep it generally out of the way.
I guess the most frustrating thing is that you ask somebody, well, what do you want? Well, they don't want warehouses. They don't want high-density housing. What they want is either farm or 2 to 3 acre lots with houses, and that absolutely will not happen here.
Google met with a group representing opposition to the project on Wednesday to address lingering concerns. It's working down to the wire to see what changes could be made to the data center development plan to get it approved. A Google spokesperson told me in a statement, these are complex projects and development of the site is subject to a variety of factors.
It's called progress. It happens. You can't stop it.
The Pelkos said a non-disclosure agreement prevents them from saying the sale price, but they said Google's purchase is contingent on the rezoning being approved, which the City County Council will vote on during its regular meeting on Monday. One council member told me some who've signaled a no vote are moving towards yes. In studio, Tim Spears for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
The Fever have a chance to move into the next round of the playoffs tonight. Fever have to beat the Dream. Colin Bailey tells us about a watch party here.
A watch party downtown at the District Tap, but yeah, just one final ride with this team. What a fun ride it's been, overcoming so many injuries, especially the superstar Caitlin Clark. And I mentioned, if you're looking for that official watch party, downtown District Tap today, 7:30. That's when the game tips off. The team also says it will have Freddie, Fever, and Inferno in the building, a prize wheel, and of course the game itself, like I mentioned. 7:30 tip-off in Atlanta. Series is tied at 1 game apiece. The Fever took home the victory on Tuesday inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse to tie up the series. Kelsey Mitchell has been the star so far this playoff run. In Game 1, she had 27 points. In Game 2, 19 points. This is what Fever head coach Stephanie White had to say after Tuesday's playoff win.
This is a group that's confidence has really never wavered. You know, we've been in every kind of situation you can imagine, and we've been able to find ways to put ourselves in position to win, and this will be no different. Obviously, it's going to be on the opponent's home floor, but, you know, it doesn't matter. I think for us, our if we maintain our attention to detail, if we continue the defensive effort that we had tonight, and we shoot with confidence, you know, we give ourselves a chance.
Game 3 tonight will advance to face the winner of Game 3 between Las Vegas and Seattle in the semifinals. Again, if you're looking to get on that Fever fun in action, 7:30 at the District Tap in downtown Indy for the official watch party. I'm Colin Bailey for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Local experts say they're concerned about foreclosure rates in Marion County. A new report from the Fair Housing Center of Central Indiana shows nearly 900 homes entered foreclosure between January and July. The center says that's up 23% from the same time last year. The report says the issue appears especially acute in neighborhoods of color, using Crown Hill as an example, with 9 foreclosures in the first half of the year. Study also shows Indiana is 6th in the country for percentage of foreclosures. The well-known Brown County restaurant is shutting down. The owners of the Hobnob Corner in Nashville say it will be closing soon. Cole family owns the restaurant and posted on Facebook yesterday saying it is with a heavy heart that we must announce that after 46 wonderful years, Hobnob Corner Restaurant will be closing its doors. Unfortunately, our lease has not been renewed, and we will be closing by the second week of November. Town of Speedway is revving up for a party ahead of sports car racing at the track. The IMSA Street Fest is on Main Street from 6 until 8 tonight. Speedway says it's free, that you can meet and get autographs from drivers and even see some pit stop demos. Festival is ahead of IMSA's Battle on the Bricks. Practice starts Friday, qualifying Saturday. Main event, 6-hour endurance race on Sunday, all at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and WishTV.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at WishTV.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.